The first time we went there was 1968 with my brother and my father. My father was a rep and he had to go and visit a lot of local councils, and the people at the Blue Mountain City Council put him onto this place because he wanted to do a lot of horse riding through the wilderness areas in the Blue Mountains. There's a story of a young girl who was thrown from a horse, and she would appear at the top gate as you're driving into the farm late at night. If you stop to open the gate and turn around, she's quite often standing right in front of you. When we were kids, there was a fellow that used to work at the PackSaddlers. His name was Dave, and he was an old bushy at heart, white hair, white beard, and he had his own horse that was albino, so a pure white horse with red eyes. And this horse would just follow him around. It was so loyal to him. He could get it to do anything. He could get it to kneel down and rear up with him on his back. He'd whistle him and he'd come along. So he was sort of one with the horse. Anyway, the PackSaddlers was a very remote place. No television or anything like that, so at night everybody would sit round the fire and tell stories, and Dave would stutter very badly, and during the day when he was just talking naturally, he was very hard to understand and you had to be very patient because his stutter was really bad. Part of his job was to go out and clear all the tracks of rocks, tree branches, that sort of thing, and make sure that it was easy for the riders to pass through. So one day he didn't come home, and so they sent out a search party looking for him where they thought he might be. It took them a day to find him, and he'd had a heart attack trying to push a rock off the track, and his horse was sitting there, standing over him, trying to nudge him, which is heartbreaking, and the horse wouldn't leave his side. Anyway, after the funeral, it was only probably 2 weeks later, and his horse passed away for no rhyme or reason. So anyway, years later, probably 10 years later, we were up there with a group of friends, and they'd never been there before. We'd just taken them up to go horse riding. And as it usually turns out, all the boys were in the lounge room and all the girls were in the kitchen, and we were all having a great old chat. All of a sudden, the girls came screaming into the lounge room, saying that there was a face at the window. And the only thing was that the window was about 8 feet off the ground, which is about the height of a man on a horse. Anyway, I was the only one in the group that had ever been there before, and I said, "Oh, can you describe the face at the window?" And they described Dave. After the girls came in and described the Dave's face, they were so insistent that it was real, and they forced us to go outside and see if somebody was there. So we all went outside, except for the girls. All the boys went outside, and of course there was nothing there. And I was just amazed that they described Dave to a T.